So there's myself and my husband Matt, and we have our boys Bo, who is 3 in a few months, and we've got Leo, who has just recently turned 1, and we've got Christian, who lives with us, and he is Matt's son from a previous relationship, and he is 13, and we live in Tauranga, Sunny Bay of Plenty, where Matt publishes a fishing magazine, doing what he loves, and I'm a stay-at-home mum. I was 41 weeks pregnant, so I was a week overdue, and I was sent for a routine ultrasound, which is what they kind of do when you're overdue a little bit, just to make sure that everything's okay in there. The ultrasound technician picked up that Leo wasn't measuring as he should be, but he couldn't really tell me anything further, so he called my midwife, and I went home and waited for a call from the midwife, and she called, told me to go into the hospital, where we had an appointment set up with one of the doctors. The doctors had a look over the ultrasound, and he was 99% sure that Leo would have achondroplasia, and yeah, that's kind of how we found out. And then I gave birth to him about 8 hours later. I started the blog originally as a way of informing our friends and family about Leo, because it was such an emotional time that I found it really difficult whenever we kind of came across new people, explaining it to them, and all the emotions got brought back up. So I thought, if I put it in a blog, then people can read it and they can learn a bit about it and have an understanding before they see us, and that way I don't have to go through it all, when it was still so raw for us as well. And it was also a way for me to get my emotions out, because I had so many thoughts and feelings that I needed to get it out, and it was really great for that. It was quite therapeutic, and the fact that other people were reading it was nice, because they understood how I was feeling, and they were learning about Leo's condition, which is what we want. So it's gone from something that was just initially helping us out to something that is helping other people out too. The words of encouragement that I get from strangers that we've never met before is really helpful and heartwarming to hear, because I'm often having days where it's harder than some other days, and just getting a message from someone that is just telling me that I'm doing well, and that they love seeing pictures of Leo and how we're doing, so that makes me feel really good. The most, perhaps the most severe potential issue would be the compression of his spine at the base of the neck can become too tight in there, which would reduce the flow of the fluid to the brain. It's quite technical. So we need to monitor that, especially in these early years, while he can't tell us if he's having symptoms. So we need to make sure that we stay on top of it with MRIs. His sleep apnea. So Leo has obstructive sleep apnea, which means that because he's got narrower passageways in his face, it's a little bit more difficult for him to breathe. He sleeps with a high flow air machine, which is little nasal prongs that go up his nose, pushing a high flow of air up there. He may need to have his tonsils and his adenoids out relatively soon to help with that. When he gets a little bit bigger, there's things that we'll need to look into, like the bowing of his legs. They will most likely be quite bowed, and we just need to make sure that it's not causing him any pain, and if it is, then we just look into what we can do to help with that. when you have a child, you need to celebrate the child that you do have rather than the child that you think you should have, and that child probably has a lot that they could teach you to become the person that you should be. So I'm a strong believer in celebrating my kids for who they are, differences and all. So I do get a few women coming to me with their news of their diagnosis, whether they're still pregnant and they're expecting a baby like Leo, or whether they've just had a baby like Leo. And I think I actually get a little bit excited when I hear that, because I know they're going through a really difficult time, but where I am now is I know that it's going to get better for them, and they're going to have a baby that they're just, that they love and adore. So I think my advice to them would be, just as I was told in the early days, it would be to just enjoy your baby and look past the diagnosis, because I know that that's all I saw in the beginning. I just saw the diagnosis, and you need to just love your baby, because a year down the track you're going to look back and just think, maybe not why did I cry, because I understand why I cried, and I wouldn't tell you not to cry, because you need to cry, but just you'll look back and wonder what you're so scared about, I think, because you're going to have a really healthy, happy baby, and it's just going to be a little bit smaller. I get to hang out with my mates all the time, especially Leo. I mean, he's just always with me, so and we just get to do fun things, and the love that I have for them is so intense. It's just the best feeling ever. So there's what's not to love about that. I've got my best mates with me all the time.